With a replacement for the Bloodline lined up in WWE and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Touching on his injuries that have kept him out of a professional wrestling ring, Tommaso Ciampa told out of character, so it's awesome when you don't have to wrestle. The concern, of course, is when you have to wrestle and you're like, oh crap. Ciampa responded when asked how he feels coming back from surgery, so it's always hard to answer because I feel 100%. If I never had to wrestle again, I'd feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna live a good, healthy life. You enter the bumping, the traveling, flights, car rides, it's too early for me to say. I've only had one match since I've come back, and it's probably 100% as far as scientifically healed, but I have no idea what it's going to do when I start to test it. I did stem cells too when I was out, and the results of that have been great, so I'm really hoping that, knock on wood, knock on something. I've had some bad injury luck in my career, so I'm really hoping that it's behind me and I just get a nice solid run here of being in the company. That'd be really nice. So somewhere around the start of 2.0, what would happen is I would take any forward bump or a power slam, a suplex, anything where I flipped and landed, and I would get this thing where I would bump, and then my left side, my glute, my hamstring, it's hard to even explain. It felt like something that wrapped around my lower back through the groin and stuff would just kind of go numb and weak. I wouldn't be able to stand on my left foot at all, but then it would go, it'd be temporary. I'd stay for 20 seconds or so, back pain, you'd breathe through it, you wiggle out of the ring or something, and I would carry on. With the NXT 2.0 schedule, especially coming off the pandemic and everything, it was a light schedule, so say that happened in a match on a Tuesday, I might not have a match the next Tuesday and I get 2 weeks of rest. I almost wouldn't even think about it, and then it would happen again. That was happening fairly often. Not enough for me to be alarmed, and then when I started to go on the road and started to take on that full-time schedule and do the live events and stuff, it just got to the point where I was like, oh crap. This happened Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and that pain's worse and worse and worse, and it finally got to a point where we were on a live event and we tried a lot at this point. I'd gotten some injections. I'd done a lot of treatments, and it just happened, I don't know, 2 or 3 times in one match, and I just remember the last one, it was a suplex. I want to say off the second, not even off the top, and when it landed, you know that peel of light. I think I want to throw up. The exact feeling I had when I tore my ACL, and I just kept thinking to myself, you just have to get up for a spear. It's all you have to do and just finish it, but that ended up, being the last time I was in a ring, and that's sometime in September of last year, and then when I finally went to go get it fixed, so much was wrong. I had bulging discs in my back, SI joint was closed off, hip labrum was torn to shreds, a bone was rubbing up against something. It was just a mess. The MRI had a lot of language in it I didn't understand, so the surgery and the rehab wasn't very fun. I won't lie. It was kind of miserable at points. When I went out to Colombia, I was honestly at a point where I was like, holy crap. A little bit depressed, a little bit like I might have had my last match and it was in whatever town at a live event, not how I envisioned it being. So the stem cells really were a game changer. Working with the PTs down at the Performance Center just really educated myself about, like, at 38 years old, how you have to kind of change up your methods, your training, mobility, and it was a freaking mess, man. It was not a fun time at all. The saving grace was being home with the little one and my wife. Great support system, but it was rough. Talking about the current landscape of WWE and the growth of the company, despite the actor strike in Hollywood, Seth Rollins told this to TMZ Sports. I mean, silver lining for us, I suppose. It's a difficult time for the actors and the writers. I believe they're doing the right thing, asking for what they deserve. I stand by them, but it is a fortunate part of not being part of a union that we are able to still perform, and for our audiences and people who may not be familiar, now they get an opportunity to tune in and see what we are all about. Yeah, I mean, we've never been hotter business. The biggest it's ever been. The talent across the board is the best it's ever been. The business is hot right now. We're in a boom. I think when we look back at it, it's going to be a special time. Totally. Mentioning his feud against Cody Rhodes from back in the day, Booker T told Muscle Man Malcolm, I feel like I got a huge part in Cody Rhodes' success. I chose to put Cody over in 2011. I wanted to work with Cody. I just saw a world championship caliber athlete in Cody. I said, man, let me help him out a little bit. And I think working with Cody definitely gave him that sense of, man, I could do this. And then him going out on his own, he proved that he could do it. Speaking about the possibility of getting a phone call from major pro wrestling promotions, Matt Cardona told Steve Fall of WrestlingNews.co, "If WWE or AEW or Marvel Studios, whoever calls me up right now, I'd have a conversation, right? But it's all about the two C's, the cash and creative." Taking to Twitter, WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle would announce an upcoming appearance where he showed off a new look. Here's the clip.
Hey Mallards fans, it's your Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and I'll be appearing at the Duck Pond in Madison, Wisconsin on Thursday, July 20th, signing autographs and taking pictures at the game. I will see you there. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
As it looks like he'll be taking on Ricochet at the upcoming WWE Premium Live event, Logan Paul said this on his podcast about potentially being the opening match for SummerSlam. "As soon as my match ends, I'm going to hop on a private jet, fly to Dallas in my wrestling gear, walk in the ring with my brother for his fight against Nate Diaz. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I think if I do, it'll be minutes. I walk into the venue round 1, Jake Paul Nate Diaz starts. It is barely possible, but how incredible would that be?" Also on his podcast, Logan Paul admitted to taking things personally when fans booed him in WWE. "I'm obviously a heel and I like it, but I didn't at first. When I first got there and people started booing me, I really took it personal. I just didn't understand. I was pissed. Bruce Pritchard came back. That was amazing. They hate you. I'm affected by this. Now I eat it up and I started to play with the interaction with people in the front row who were booing me. I have to say, the WWE fans have balls. I will get in their face and they're flipping me off. F you. I'm right here face to face. I'm sorry, sir. I could end your life where you stand. I obviously won't because it's illegal. The fact that they have no regret and no signs of backing down right in front of my face, they have respect for me. They're a character too. They're having fun. Now I'm leaning into it. I'm liking it. And they love to hate me." As Rick Steiner previously was alleged to have made transphobic comments at Wrestlecon, the company announced recently that he would be allowed back. Now they have retracted this statement, writing, "Attention, Rick Steiner has been removed from WrestleCon. When we allowed Rick Steiner to return to our convention as a vendor guest of Tony Hunter Promotions, we did not adequately take into account the impact his past words from our last event still held in the LGBTQIA+ community. We initially allowed him to return because 1, we still feel that people deserve a second chance. 2, Rick did make an apology to all parties that chose to be present. 3, we lacked any type of code of conduct/harassment policy that clearly defined our expectations as a convention participant." After a thoughtful dialogue with Brian Bell from SB Nation's Outsports and host of the LGBT in the Ring podcast on Monday morning, we agreed with his opinion it was necessary to have some type of public acknowledgement and apology from Rick Steiner at an absolute minimum to allow him to attend Detroit. Because we understand this issue required great urgency, we gave Rick Steiner 24 hours to make such a statement. Unfortunately, there is not currently, and we do not expect to receive such a statement, and we have therefore made a decision to revoke our permission for him to attend. Additionally, we have now created a first draft of our code of conduct and anti-harassment policy that will be posted on our website for everybody to see later today. We will continue to improve upon this code of conduct over time and with the cooperation of others. We understand and appreciate that there will be many differences of opinions among our participants, and we want to create a safe and enjoyable space for everybody at our conventions. At this time, we have partnered in solidarity with other wrestling industry convention leaders, notably StarCast, Wrestlecade, and The Gathering, who also agree to adopt and adhere to a similar code of conduct for their events. With Bryan Danielson suffering a broken forearm during his match against Okada, the Wrestling Observer provided an update, writing, AEW President Tony Khan said Bryan Danielson's injury was a bit worse than they initially thought. No timetable for return. Hasn't been coming to shows or meetings, but he has been in contact with Danielson frequently on ideas and thoughts. Following Raw, Liv Morgan could be seen sporting a sling for her arm, as it looks like she may be injured. When it comes to having a match against New Japan's Mercedes Mone, former AEW Women's Champion, Britt Baker said on Not Just Football, there is a very famous female wrestler who used to go by the name of Sasha Banks. Now she's Mercedes Mone. She is on the circuit. She got injured, but when she heals up, I think anyone and everyone wants to see her in some capacity all over the wrestling scene. She's not in WWE anymore, so she can do whatever she wants. She's in New Japan right now, but she's not exclusive to them. Just to see somebody of that caliber going out there and doing her thing on her own without the machine behind her and still succeeding is really cool. As the Bloodline seems to be the biggest angle in WWE currently, it looks like the company has another story to replace it when the time comes, with WRKD Wrestling noting that WWE see Judgment Day as the successor to the Bloodline storyline in terms of fan interest and longevity. The Judgment Day segments frequently gain major interest in the quarter-hour ratings and will continue to be a center point of shows moving forward. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.